All right, welcome to another edition of Locked In. It's good to see all you guys again. Yes, we're back. I know it seems like we were out for a long time. First of all, I'm James.
And I'm Damien from the West Coast.
We're psyched.
What's up?
Yeah. You probably realize that two other guys are supposed to be here, other friends, but they're not here. Eric and Q couldn't make it this edition because of different things, the other obligations they had to do. You know, vacations, family time, all that kind of stuff. And here at Locked In, we're all about family, we're all about friends, we're all about relationships and all that stuff, and doing what we got to do. And so we foster that and we honor that when we have to do those things. And we just carry the show on even if we don't have everybody. And sometimes I have a guest or somebody to be guest host or whatever, but that doesn't always happen. But today, my brother and I, Damien, I've known him for, a lot of years. 2 digits is a lot of years.
Right.
We're going to hold the fort down today. And one thing that we both specialize in is motivating, encouraging, and inspiring your heart. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about that, especially to the young people. We got a message for you guys that we think was going to bless you. Exactly, right?
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So
good stuff for y'all today. So
enjoy. Enjoy. So without further ado, let's roll that open. And thank you guys for watching I almost said the O show. Thank you for watching. Again. Stay tuned. So what's up, man? How you been, man? It's been a while since we have all come together, and we still ain't all together. But how you been?
Man, it's been pretty busy. Work has been cool, man. Work has been copacetic. Steady work coming in. I started handling this project down in San Diego. I've been doing the deliveries. They're building a big resort, down in Chula Vista. It's San Diego County. So it's a lot of different parts to San Diego. You know, you got different counties and cities inside the county. So,
right.
But this particular part of the county is Chula Vista. And it's a resort. And so I got in on this project. So this project is supposed to last about a year. Mm-hmm. So I've been pretty busy with that, man. But it's been pretty cool, man.
That's what's up, man. That's really cool, man. I have missed all you guys, man. We have been busy with stuff, having different things going on in our lives. So, and the thing is, it's the summertime too. So, I mean, we get a little pass. We didn't come on earlier this year, but I wanted to get something out here. We're gonna have our full show later on in a few days or whatever. And I know you're not gonna be there, and then I know Eric is not gonna be there because y'all are doing things, with families and different things like that. So I still wanted to get you up here so we can just have a little back and forth banter or whatever, man, and talk about some things because we always got something to talk about.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm the quiet one. I don't never talk, so But anyway,
how you gonna be the quiet one when you the host?
So I play the moderator, and a lot of reasons why I do the moderating is because I don't always give an opinion, and there's a reason because of that. With as a journalist, a professional journalist, I have to be careful and giving my opinion. I don't want anything to come crazy. I just want to be careful. Let's put it that way. Right, and so some things, like for instance, I probably wouldn't tell you who I'm voting for when it comes to politics, because I know I report on it. At times, and when I report on it, I have to write from a objective perspective, so that people can make their own decisions. So it's a thin line, and maybe so some things I'll comment on. Relationships, I can tell you about it all day. But when it comes to politics and stuff like that, I'll let y'all guys handle it. I will ask the questions to get y'all revved up. I know that for sure.
That's really Eric is the politician.
That is him, man.
I really just let him talk about it, Yeah, I do have my opinion on a lot of stuff, but I know he's very invested in that world, so you can tell.
Man, he'll watch it all day, debates and all. That's what he do, man. And so that's good that we all got our specialties and our things that we like to talk about.
Because for sure.
He definitely got there. And so what I want to do, of course, I want us to have our own segments where we talk about things that we like to talk about as well. So it'll be well-rounded. I want all of us to have our own individual segments within the show. So I think that's a good thing we're going to do as the months come. So been working on that as well. But so the politics is one thing that everybody's talking about now. It's like a soap opera, man. It literally feels like I'm in a soap opera, a politics soap opera. As the world turns, Young and the Restless. It looks like. I mean, every week, for the last few weekends, I've been busy as a journalist, man, because of the breaking news. First, the assassination of Trump, and then you have the president stepping down. I mean, we're not going for re-election, I'll say. and Kamala Harris taking the place of Joe Biden. Well, she's not the exact nominee yet, but it's presumptive. It's she's most likely going to be the nominee until they make it official. So it's just like, what in the world's happened the last few weeks, man, with this politics stuff? And all I can say to it is, I'm ready for it to be done.
True, yeah. We just getting started though.
I got 100-some days left, man. So it's
right,
like, okay,
man. Yeah.
I's tired now. I's tired of hearing it. I'm tired. And so my thing is now, I was watching today. Now it's a battle between Kamala and Trump. Trump said something about her, and then Kamala's coming back and saying something about him, and it's a back and forth and a back and forth. I was like, oh, here we go, another storyline, you know. So we gotta deal with this. I feel like it could be considered childish, but it's just what politics is all about, man. And it's interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what happens the next few weeks, who the running mate would be as far as the vice president on Kamala's side, and just see where things go, you know. But we ain't talking about much politics because Eric is not up here. I would love to get his perspective. We're trying to get him up here and just have him talk a little bit. He probably, I don't know, he might be a little bit too crazy. I had to calm him down, but you know, that's his thing. Man. But I know it's one thing that we have in common. We love to encourage, motivate, and inspire people, man. That's something that we do. You got great videos on what you do. You always uplift people. You always find something to motivate somebody. You've motivated me. You've been motivating me, especially since June the 7th.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you've been helping me with my my weight, everything. I've lost some pounds. I'm looking. My stomach is. I would say this. I used to tell people I was 9 months pregnant. I am currently 3 months. I done went down to 3 months pregnant. So I am happy about that because there's been progress, and you know there's been progress. So
yes, sir, for sure.
I'm so happy about that. It feels good. You know, feels good. And it's some days I don't want to do it.
That's how it is, man. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But I tell you one thing, it's probably easier to do it because you've been doing it. Even though there's some days that you don't feel like doing it, you have established a habit. So it's easy to do it. So that's the thing about getting into a routine. That's really key. You know, so it kind of feels weird when you don't do it, even though you don't feel like doing it because you've been doing it, you know?
Right. You get off. You're like, something feels off about it.
Don't feel off, right? And that's the point. That's the point, you know? That's why it's key to establish healthy habits. Healthy habits
from the beginning, from the get-go. So I appreciate that, man, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you.
Man, I'm invested in your journey, man. I'm your cheerleader right now. I'm your coach and your cheerleader. So I get excited about seeing change, you know, and you know. So
and it's genuine. That's the thing, you know. He's not only my friends, he's my coach as well, but he is genuine. And I appreciate that because it helps me it motivates me to keep going. And I don't always get it right, but I've come a long way. I promise you I've come a long way. And exercise. Hey. I got the bench press machine. I got the bench press in my living room. See, I'm a single guy. I can do that, you know.
Right. Yeah, you can have it right in the middle.
Yeah, the wife would be like, get that mess out of my. But I have a smaller townhome, you know, it's not huge. So I gotta do what I gotta do, and I can, you know, pull it up or whatever for somebody to come over and visit. But my boys are here, so they see it right there. They watch me lift weights or whatever. And my son wanted to lift something. I let him lift the bar a little bit. My younger one, he think he's, you know. So I made sure he got a chance. You know. My oldest son, he just want to go play video games. Now both of them like play video games, but he's like, I don't want to do that. He don't want to do the exercise stuff. So
what do they say when they see you working out? So
Dad, what you doing? I said, and then Jaden, he always says, I want to do it too. So I want him to participate. But I gotta watch him because he want to lift up the heavy stuff. Like, no, bro, you can't do that. That's 25 pounds. You know, you don't need to be lifting 25 pounds at 10 years old, bro. I don't know about that. You might drop that, hurt your arm. I'm not gonna be responsible for that. So no, you can't.
Right. It'll be a whole thing.
Yeah. But they see that. I want them to see their dad trying to take care of themselves. They see me walking around with a gallon jug of water. They see that, and it's like, you gonna drink all that? I say, well, most likely I am. I don't always get through all of it, but I usually do for the most part, or at least try to drink a half a gallon, if anything. But they see me with it. And and I don't usually put it in the little, you know, people put it in containers and all that stuff. I take the jug with me. Yeah. Or if I forget it, bring it to work, I'll drink 8 bottles of water. Well, at least 4 bottles. I don't want to drink 8 throughout my whole work shift because I'm going to the bathroom.
Right, exactly.
But they provide water, and there's always Deer Park water at the job, so I can appreciate that. There's no excuse for me not to get some water in my system.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. I like. that's key, man. To see people. I think for me, I know that it does a lot for people to see an example, right?
Yeah,
The easiest thing they're gonna be inspired by is an example. Period. It's like you can say things all day long about what you should do and how to do something, but at the end of
yeah.
the day, people got to see it.
You got to see
And
it.
it's like when people close to you, like your kids or your friends, when you start doing something, you inspire change because they see you, like you're close to them. So
Right.
you're the closest source of inspiration that they have when it comes to stuff like this, and that's just important, especially when it
Mhm.
comes to the kids, right? Because they still young. You know what I'm saying? They're still young, so they have more time and opportunity to really like build those habits and just be inspired. And
Right.
just that is going to set them on a trajectory and going to set them up, for their lives. So I think that's really important.
I think you're so right about that, man.
Mm-hmm.
It, you never know who's watching, and your kids are watching you more, and people are watching you more than you realize. And I say not only kids but people.
Mm-hmm.
I think some years ago, I don't know if I ever shared this story, but it was 1999. I want to say I was just turning 17. No, I was 16, so it was 98. And gee, I'm aging myself, man. But there's this person that was at my church that he, for some reason, he's an older guy, could be a father, whatever figure. He kept tapping me in church, and every week he had something different to say. First, we said, "Did I play basketball?" No, I didn't play basketball because I was tall at that time,
Mm-hmm.
at that age, I should say. And then another week he tapped me. He said, "Do you have a job?" And I'm like, "Are you going to get a job?" Because he knew I was turning 16. I was like, "No," and I was very negative. I was like, "I can't. I don't think I can get a
Mm-hmm.
job." And he changed my life that day. He had a lot to do with where I am today, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so he took me to the side after church, and he had a talk with me, a long talk. And let me tell you, it was a long talk. And he instilled in me about the value of being positive, the value of believing in yourself and knowing that you can do it and be positive. Because at the end of the day, I'm 16 years old. I'm gonna get a job. I mean, it didn't have to be my profession at this point. I'm just trying to get some money. So he
Mm-hmm.
pulled out a $20 bill. Now, mind you, I didn't know him, and said, "This is how much I believe in you." And I never forgot that. He changed my life. But I say all that to say, in school, when I was in college, we had to do a memoir on our lives, and we had to
Mm-hmm.
have like 5 people write a letter about us. And I chose
Mm-hmm.
him, Mr. Prelo, that's his name. And the title of his letter was, "You Never Know Who's Watching." And the reason that he took me in and basically wanted to get to know me, he kept tapping me and talking to me, is because he saw the relationship I had with my grandmother who was there at the church. I didn't really sit with the kids. I sit with my grandma. I loved her
Mm-hmm.
so much. My best friend, I still can remember her phone number by heart. And that she's been
Mm-hmm.
gone since 2002, if I got the date right. Yeah. And so it's like he saw that relationship and he wanted to instill in me. And so I guess I'm saying that you never know who's watching. So you need to just be yourself, do all you can, and maybe somebody that come in your life and want to help you get further, And he helped me get
Mm-hmm.
further. So yeah,
He's right. He's right, man. That's really a blessing to have somebody like that
yeah.
come in your life at a young age. You say you were like 16 at the
I
time?
was 16 years old, man.
At the time, man. Teenagers
Mhm.
tend to be a little bit pessimistic. Maybe it's the hormones or something like that. I remember being like that too.
Right.
But it's just important to have somebody talk to you about the power of a positive attitude,
Hmm,
right?
hmm.
And the power of like believing in yourself. And
Right.
I really find myself talking to the young guys, like when I'm at
Hmm.
the gym or something like that. We're not talking just about workout stuff. I think my heart is for like I've done team ministry,
Yeah.
uh, and I'm not doing it anymore. But I still have a heart for like young men
Yeah.
and to teach them confidence. And
Hmm.
my way of doing that is it starts with a couple things. Like for me, it starts. I mean, I meet these guys in the gym or
Yeah.
outside of the gym too, like that. I like to start physical, right? We start
Yeah.
there because whatever you do, physical, like it impacts you mentally and spiritually. These things are not disconnected. They affect one or the other. Whatever you do mentally is going to affect you spiritually or physically. Either way, you can go around in that triangle, right? So, but it's important for young men to develop confidence, right? And that comes through with time and developing good habits. Because I have learned that not having that, it costs you.
Oh,
because
yes.
because you especially when it comes to making decisions, right? I mean,
Yeah.
people want to see leaders in men. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So when you aren't able to make decisions and you second guessing everything, it costs you. You know, so
Yeah.
it's just important for young men to develop confidence. Be
Yeah.
confident in your decision, right? You might not
Mhm.
make the perfect decision, but be confident in the information that you know at the time and make the decision
Yeah.
and deal with the consequences of it. But you know that you make the best decision
Mm.
at that time, you know? So it's
Mhm.
just that's a part of it. So I think that's really important for young men to practice self belief, right?
Yes.
And from a spiritual aspect, man, we are made in the image of God, right? We've been saved, right?
Yes, that's true.
So it's not like we just are out here operating by ourselves. If you have a faith in Christ, you know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
like you know whose you are. You can go to the scripture and it tells us
Yes.
who we are, right?
Who I am
We
and
knew
whose I am.
we knew creation, so we can have confidence in that and who we
Yeah.
are. Have confidence. You're connected to the source. So it's
Mhm.
just important to know who you are and have your confidence come out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah.
And I would say this too, like you said something about deal with the consequences. Sometimes when
Mm-hmm.
we go out there in confidence and do certain things, we may fail at it. But it's really, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't get back up and keep going, that's when you fail, when you just kind of give up on it altogether. So, you're going to have your bumps and all kinds of things, but you got to learn how to get back up and keep going.
And you know
And
what? Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because I get
no, that's
excited
what I was
talking
going
about
to
this
say.
stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Hey, bro, hey,
yeah, yeah.
go ahead.
No, but I tell young men, don't be afraid of failure. Yeah, life is
Uh-huh.
about battles, right? And that's how you gain confidence. You gain it through getting those scars. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm using that as an analogy, those scars and things like that. But in reality,
Look, I got real
those
scars,
failures
bro.
hurt, right? When you
Yes,
fail
they
at something,
do.
it hurt, don't it? Right?
Mhm. Oh,
But don't
yes,
be
it
afraid of
do.
it, man. It's like
Yeah.
you learn through those things and you become more wise to those things. God teaches us through those things, but we don't learn by not failing.
Right.
By
Right.
being scared and being in a bubble. That's not what God has for us. We're supposed to be
Hmm.
courageous. And we're supposed to go out
Yeah.
there and take the bumps and the bruises, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we learn everything. And it's important to have a healthy perspective when it comes to failure. You should not be afraid of it, right?
Right.
Expect it. But you should expect that you're going to learn through those things. Like try to learn through it. It's always something that you can learn through your failures. Always
Absolutely.
reflect, always learn something, and then you apply that knowledge. Whatever you learn from that, whatever you learn and I think the most important thing is that you reflect and you learn about yourself through your failures and how you can be
Mm.
better.
And that's
Because you
the
can't
key.
change everybody else. You learn about yourself. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's
Yeah.
right. And I
So,
think that's the key. What you said there is the key
mm,
is to do those steps that you just mentioned. But a lot
mm,
of times I think what we do is we fail and then we just start beating ourselves up and we think we can't do it and we never grow and we never get to a place and we become ungrateful. And so another thing
right.
I
Yeah.
want to add to that, what you said is we need to be grateful for where we are. Even though we fail at
Mm-hmm,
some things, we're trying to get to that destination, at that goal. We got to be
mm-hmm.
thankful for what we have and grateful for what we have. And just say, you know what? I'm grateful that I have the ability to even try. I'm
Right.
grateful
That's
that I
key.
even fail
Mm-hmm,
because I know I can get back up. I'm grateful that I can pray about it and trust God and have faith. I'm grateful just for being able to even talk or even walk or even think
mm-hmm,
of an idea or things
mm-hmm.
like that. We have to be grateful for the small, medium, and big things. And I tell you, in some
Exactly.
way, God will bless you with more. But it's all about being grateful each and every
Mm-hmm,
day, even through
mm-hmm.
your failures. So.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Definitely,
yeah,
man.
definitely, my brother. I hope that encourage somebody right now because somebody could be going through that, feeling like they're failures. And the thing is, you're not a failure. You just have to get back up and keep going. And you follow those steps that my boy Damien was talking about because he know what he's talking about. You got some knowledge. I
Mm-hmm.
always call you the wisdom guy
Right,
because you
because I
have a
done
lot
been
of
through some
wisdom.
failures myself. You know what I'm
Been
saying?
through
Like
some things, man.
me and James. If you're a young
Mhm,
guy watching this,
mhm.
um, if you experiencing some failure right now, keep on living. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but like I
Keep
say,
on
it's
living.
important to have be grateful, right?
Mhm.
Be grateful that there's something that you can learn in those experiences, right?
Right.
And that's not failure's not the end of your story, okay?
No.
It's
No.
not the end of your story. You can always learn something through it. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
So that's always that knowledge that you have learned through that. That's for you, okay?
And
So
you can
you learned it
believe what we're
twice.
saying. We can believe what
Hmm.
we're saying because we've been through it.
We've
We've
been
been
through it.
through
We're
it.
still going through it, and
Yeah.
we've been through it. We've been through it a little bit more than you have, but
Woo.
we know how it is to be in your stage. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. And
so
you
yeah.
reminded me of something. Today I had to do a tour for the studio where I'm at. I was helping out someone that wanted me to help with this tour. He had like 20 students that come from a leadership type of camp that they were putting
Hmm.
together. I knew the person that founded it was an associate minister of a church that I was associate minister with as well. And she had reached out about getting a tour and everything. And so it was good to see we had kind of like split the kids up 10 to 10 because it was such a big group, but I got a chance to talk to some of them. And it's just so good to hear the eagerness they have for wanting to succeed in life. I mean, it was one girl that actually came up to me and she said, is there a nursing program yet at Regent University? And I don't go to Regent. I went to Regent. I got a degree in it or whatever. But I was like, I don't know. She said, well, I've been calling around. Now, this is a high schooler. I've been calling around, and they told me that they're working on it. She said, but I hope they get it done before I graduate in 2 years. She said, because I really want to come here. I like it, and I really want to come here. And it touched me because just a teenager, she's already thinking about like she's ready to. She knows what she want to do. And she know how to get there. She's thinking about the avenue to get there. And it just excited me that young people, they want it. They want it. And I think a lot of times we just need to give them a little guidance and let them know they can do it. And so, the preach came out of me. So I was inspired. I was encouraging those kids. I was like, you think about where I worked at, where the founder, he started small. And by the end, he had something big. And I talked about that scripture, do not despise the small beginnings. I think it's Zechariah. You don't despise them because it's in those small seed. It's like a little seed. It's in those small things. You keep watering it. Now you may fail in the watering. The crop may not come the way you want it. So you got to re-water it. That's a failure. So you keep going, and eventually it's going to bloom into something bigger. And I explained to the kids, I was like, this shows that you can do anything you put your mind to. This shows that you can do all things through Christ, which strengthens you. Philippians 4:13. This shows you that you can do it. And so don't ever think you can't do something in your dreams. And I was just, I didn't mean to, but I was letting them know that, man. And so young people, man, it's so important that we grab them now. I'm always encouraging my boys, my sons, to be all they want to be. And it's just what it is, man.
Yeah. It's funny how that goes back and forth because with the young people, you see them fresh and you see them zealous and ready. Yeah. It kind of affects you, right? It's like they get wisdom from you, but they're very energetic and it energizes you. So it's like something that kind of goes back and forth. And
it makes it good, bro.
It's like you need older people need younger people, and younger people need older people, right? And then another thing you said is about having this mindset, this farmer mindset, right? Like planting a seed. You're sowing something, right?
Right.
And it's like patience is so important, especially when you're thinking about like a vision or something like that you want to do. Yeah. It's not going to happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? I think that has been my thing. When I was younger, I was very impatient, very zealous, very energetic, but I didn't necessarily have the mindset that whatever I planted today, I wasn't going to, whatever I sowed today, I wasn't going to reap that right away. I had to be patient, right? Because God is developing some things in me to be ready for that time when I'm able to reap what I've sowed. But patience is so important. So it's that mindset really helps you to like stay the course. And just remind you, like, it really is like a marathon thing here. Is you're not gonna get it, but anything worth it is not gonna happen. You're not gonna get that thing the next day. It happens through time and consistent sowing, right? Consistent work. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just a reminder to be patient in your process.
Oh, absolutely, man. You are so right, brother. Patience is one of the things that I'm like, I want things to happen now. And even now, it's some things that I wish would happen now. But I know that if I'm not patient, it's just going to drive me crazy. So I'm learning to be more patient as well. And like you said, when I had those kids come and I heard them, it took me away from what I had been going through. It gave me a piece like I was happy to share. They were so excited to see what position I was in. It's like, you're a news producer and you do this and that. And they were so excited. I was like, well, yes, I do. And I said, as a little boy, I always dreamed to be in news and to be even on camera. I used to dream about it. I used to, and it stood with me. And I say, and look what God has got me here. Because I followed my dreams. I didn't give up. And I did have a moment in my life when I was younger that I doubted myself. I was like, I don't think I could do it. I think I can do it. But when I started gaining that confidence, man, you couldn't stop me. And I'm doing stuff that I didn't think I would be doing based off of just trying and being confident enough. So, and it's helped me to expand in my job, like promotions and different things like that, because I decided to push myself. So never be afraid to push yourself because it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's in that uncomfortability that you learn and grow the most. You have put yourself in an uncomfortable situation when you went out to become an entrepreneur, like to do your own business. It's a lot. You know, the unknowns. Like I'm about to I'm about to say bye bye to my 9 to 5 and do my own thing. That got to be a little bit scary. Even if you even prepared for it, it still
Right.
could be a little bit intimidating and uncomfortable. But you are showing that you are growing, you're being successful in your business, all because you took that step and trusted. And so people need to see that, man. I think it's so
Yeah,
important.
definitely. I wanted to ask you something too, man. You said something about like you had did what you were dreaming about since you were a kid, and then you said you had doubted yourself, but then
Yeah.
you had became more confident. What was that thing for you that made you more confident, like on your way to becoming like in media and news and things like that? How did you build that confidence?
I will be honest with you. It was through therapy. It was through
Mm-hmm.
therapy and God. The two
Mm-hmm.
things. Because what happened was I had a lot of trauma as a young boy, and
Mm-hmm.
so the trauma made me doubt myself as a person. It made me think that I couldn't do certain things. It made me think I was not worthy of friendship. It made me think that I was dumb. It made me think that I was timid. I was scared. But when I
Mm-hmm.
started, I remember a good friend of mine, God-fearing man, had felt like he heard God say that I needed to go to counseling, and he shared it with me. And at first, I'm like, I ain't going no counseling. How dare you? And I went. I ended up going. You don't tell
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
But as time went on, I realized that I have to be strong enough to go. You're strong. If you can go therapy, you're strong. You're not weak. You're strong for wanting to get the
Right.
help that you need. And so
Uh-huh.
through therapy over the years, man, I started loving myself more. And through
Mm-hmm.
loving myself more and through relationship with God and knowing that God put me on this earth and that if he's given me this dream, he's gonna get me through it. It helped me to go out there and push myself. And I remember when I started doing that, the minute I started doing that, it was scary, bro. It was
Mm-hmm.
scary, some of the big things that I would do in order to get to where I wanted to go. And it happened. It all fell into place. One thing that I did to even get in news is that people don't know this, but I actually volunteered for about a year free of charge. I would start my shift 3 hours. I would go in 3 hours early at my shift. I would go in 3 hours early. I will go with the mentor. I had a mentor who was the host. Actually, I'm the producer of his show now. But I would work with him. He would give me work to do, news related. And then I would start my shift in another department. I would go to my shift. So I worked, I
Oh wow.
guess, 11-hour, 12-hour shifts for about a year because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it that much. And it was through that I even got the like it just like 2-3 years later, they came to me and asked me did I want the position. And so that was a lot, and I'm like, ooh, should I take the position? Because I gotta do a lot of writing, I gotta do this and that. I don't know if I can do it. I started doubting myself again, but I still pushed myself to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
look where I'm at now. Humbly, I'm thankful for where I am, and I know that I got more room to grow. Because it's crazy. One thing that my the host that's my mentor, who's actually a friend, he said to me, he said, from intern to in charge. There's a story in that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
pushing yourself, because I decided to do that. Nobody did it for me. I said, you know what? I want to do this. I'm going to push myself. And I went to the right people and they said, well, you need to connect with somebody. And that's how it goes there. So God, answer your question, God and therapy.
Man, that's excellent.
That
That's
is
excellent,
excellent.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And see,
yeah.
you've been around, you know me when I was at my really start, when I had Excellent Word TV,
Yeah, excellent word television.
a
Yeah,
little
yes, sir.
camera and everything,
I
man.
remember the graphics for it too.
Oh, you wrote the graphics?
I
I did
remember.
all that. I did all that, and I still do the
Yeah,
graphics
yeah.
right now, but it's improved. But I've had a heart for it. That was at my teenage, early adult years. But
Uh-huh.
I've always had that dream, bro. You know.
Man.
So one more
Yeah.
thing I want to talk about. Oh, you wanted to say
Mhm.
something?
Oh no, just on the aspect of dreaming. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like just with social media and things like that, it's real easy to get like pessimistic and negative. And it really is important to dream. Okay.
Yes.
Like dream about things. Let your mind take you to places and think about like what's possible. Well, God, anything is possible, but let your heart dream. That's so important. That's so
Oh,
important. I make sure I set time apart every day to like, I have like a vision board and things like that. And
yeah.
I make time to set my mind on those things. If I'm setting my mind on
Yeah.
those things, if I
Yeah.
continue to allow myself to dream, my mom always told me I was a dreamer too. She always told me that.
Yeah.
But if I set my mind on those things, and I'm more likely to do something about them in my day-to-day basis. And if
Because of reality.
your action is gonna make it a reality, period.
Mhm.
So if you're not doing anything, you dream all day. But if you're not doing anything about it, it's not you're not gonna make it into a reality. But you're not gonna do nothing if you're not allowing yourself to dream. So you definitely gotta allow your heart to dream. You know what I'm saying? So don't be affected by the negativity in this world and like social media. Allow yourself to dream. You know what I'm saying? So that's so important.
And it's interesting you say about the vision board. I just did my first vision board. We talked about you. We was gonna start it together.
We
And I
did,
never
did
finished.
we? Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually finished one. I started one the first of the year, so I have it
Uh,
right in my little closet there. I can see it, look at it, and I
uh,
looked at it the other day, and I saw some of the things that I've already accomplished. And I said, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm
yeah.
gonna get through everything on that board, but it's good to see it."
It's good to see it. Exactly.
Because what I don't do this year is going to be on that board for next year. But
Uh,
I used to get away from the vision board thing because a lot of religion said
mm,
it wasn't the right thing. But when I fully had a relationship with God more and I started loving, getting in a deeper relationship, I realized there's nothing wrong with it.
yeah.
And it's my opinion, it's something to reinforce where you're trying to go. And that vision board has served a great purpose for me, honestly.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's just I like the vision board. Like I said, I know what you're saying from the religious aspect, but it ain't nothing really in scripture that's going against a vision board, right? And I know one thing the Bible talks about, you can find in Proverbs that um, diligence is really important. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? So it's important to have something to work towards and be diligent at it. And like I said, if you're not able to envision the things that you want, you're not going to be diligent at
yeah,
anything. You're not going to be doing nothing. You're just going to be floating around. You know
right.
what I'm saying? So it's just, diligence is important. Apply that to your vision, right? But you are more likely going to, you gotta, like I said, you gotta dream. You gotta be a
Okay.
visionary when it comes to some things, and that's gonna allow you to put the work in. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely, man. I think that's a
mm,
great thing. I was going to talk about it ties into being successful. Um,
mm,
One thing that I know that a lot of us have done, and I'm sure I've done it in my lifetime. I don't do it now, but we kind of look at what other people are doing as far as what's the fad, what's the latest and greatest, and we try to emulate that so that we can look like we are successful, like we're
mm,
in the thing, And so, what are the dangers of that, man? Like some people, they do it and don't even recognize that you're doing yourself a
mm,
disservice when you are giving your last few dollars to get the latest and greatest to look a certain way. When it
mm,
really is about your heart, it's about your character, it's about your drive
mm,
and your determination, not about the clothes you wear. And don't get me
mm,
wrong, it ain't about, you might like nice things, it's fine. But when you
mm,
do your last just to fit in, you know.
right. Yeah, right. hmm I
So have
think
you done
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you even done that before?
What, as far as like try to do what other people are doing, and be like, yeah, everybody gets caught in that. I have done that
Sure did.
before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so easy to, especially now. I think about the kids, like the teenagers and people who have social media. Well, I mean, we have it, but me and you
Yeah.
didn't grow up like that,
No.
So we were adults
We
when this
young.
thing came around. We were like young adults by the time
Yeah,
it came around. So we were not kids with cell phones and things like that. We didn't have that stuff. So I just
yeah.
imagine how it is to be
It's
a
harder.
kid.
Yeah.
And kids see like people's at this, like, think about like kids in high school, right?
Hmm.
They follow people, and then they see people at the parties, and then they feel some kind of way because they don't get invited to the parties, and then they see the clothes that the other people are wearing, and they
Yeah,
want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? It makes them want
yeah,
to. They're comparing themselves, and that's the type of stuff that leads to depression.
yeah.
Because you turn around and look at yourself, it's like, oh, I don't have those things, and you thinking that doesn't make you as good of a person as that one because you don't have what they have.
Right, right.
So yeah, there's a
Uh,
real temptation to do that.
it's a real temptation, and I know one thing I can say about my ex-wife and myself. We instilled in our kids. I know for me, I didn't have the latest and greatest growing up, so I was good. I was glad to get some LA gears. You remember the LA gears, the light up
Yeah, I
one,
remember the LA Gears. Yeah.
bro? When my parents could get me, they got me that. I was in there because I used to wear Pro Wings and Bobo. They call them Bobos. The Payless shoes. Like I always wore that because my mom, we just couldn't afford it. And so
uh,
we're still not kids. They haven't seen that. They haven't seen struggle really.
uh,
Um, Even though sometimes I struggle, but they don't see that the sacrifice or whatever. But one thing that I'm so appreciative of, and I have to give kudos to my ex-wife about this, especially, is that it was. I'll say this: it was a commercial on, or somebody said, "You're going to the Goodwill." And one of my sons said, I don't remember which one. He said, What's wrong with going to Goodwill?" And
hmm
it touched me because they're okay with going to Goodwill. They're okay with going to thrift store. Like they like it. They like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But we raise
Yeah.
them in that way so that they'll be humble enough to go to the
Uh-huh.
Goodwill, go to the thrift store, but it can also they can get things they want to, go to a thrift store, whatever. But they have that balance, and that's something that I'm appreciative of. That my kids have that balance because they ain't
Yeah.
care. They're like, "What's wrong with that?" you know,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
and
good.
that's good, man. That's really valuable for them to have that and to instill that into them.
Yep,
Because
that's
man,
true.
I remember going to schools getting joked on for stuff because I ain't have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, man, what's crazy? Let me tell you a story, bro. I didn't have so many schools because we moved around so much, man. And I
Yeah,
remember this one particular school I went to.
yeah,
That school was in Compton, California. It was Tibby Elementary, right?
mhm,
I was in the 5th grade. Um, I started that school in the 5th grade, right?
yeah.
Man, I started first of all, this was a uniform school, so I think there was like we had to wear white polos and blue pants. Man, when
Okay.
I showed up there, man, I had some burgundy pants and they was flooding
Ah,
with a stripe with a striped shirt on, bro. They never let me forget that. Never. Never let me forget it.
bro, I know they joked you from east,
Yes,
west, south,
sir.
and north.
Yeah, they joked me, man. You know?
Oh, you
But
traumatized.
yeah,
You
so it's just
remember it?
like I remember those times when we did. I remember a lot of times when we didn't have. My mom was a single mom too,
Mhm,
But as I reflect on those things, I'm grateful for the way that we came up.
mhm,
Because it
mhm.
made me realize that those things are not my value is not in those things that I have.
Official. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like I
right,
have great values as a man, right? Things
right.
about being a good friend. You know what I'm
You're a
saying?
good
Being
friend, bro.
hardworking. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like those things mean something to me. Because I remember how it felt to be teased, how that felt, right?
Ooh,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I know how that felt, bro. I get teased
And
all
being,
the time.
judged for not having those things. And I never wanted other people to feel like that. So if I didn't go through those experiences, I wouldn't be the same person. I don't know if I'd be as good of a friend as I am. You know what I'm saying?
And you're a
So,
great friend, bro. I'll give you that. Hey, all
so
my friends. I was
I
gonna say
hope to be.
your misery becomes your ministry in a way. That's what happens.
You find you find your another one, right? You find your purpose in your pain sometimes, right? You
Bro,
know what I'm saying?
we hitting
So
them with some good ones today, bro.
exactly,
That's
yeah.
true. And I was,
T-shirts.
that's right. That's right. I'm gonna piggyback on what you said about the clothes thing. I had a story too. Like I remember we would get hand-me-downs from my mother, my wife. My mother had a friend who had a son, so she was giving the latest clothes that he, got rid of, and they were different colors. I had green jeans, pink, white. Look, I had all colors. So I remember going to school in this, and one girl, her name was Angela.
Mm.
That's yeah. This was middle school, so I'm not sure if it's 6, 7, 8, but it was Angela. Hi. Um, I still feel away about this. She embarrassed me, man. We were sitting in classroom. She's like, "Why you got those cross colors on? Guys don't wear cross colors no more." And loud in the
Man,
classroom. Angela, why did you do that to me, girl? I'm still thinking about
man.
that. But
Angela, it must have been pretty dramatic for James because he still remembers your name. Okay. And he
yeah,
remembers what you said.
I
So
put a pair of blue jeans on, light blue jean pants on the other day, and I had to think about that. I don't care what they say now because I'm confident. I'm confident in me now. But back then, man, that thing messed me up.
I bet, man.
I know about the
Those are some of the things that dig at your confidence. You know what I'm
it
saying?
does. I was
As a
already
young
timid
person.
and everything as it was.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. So I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up, man. Any last words you would like to say? Any encouraging words, whatnot?
Well, I think we've been talking a lot about. At the end of the day, we're talking about confidence and stuff like that. Talking about failures, you know, and man, if I could say something in closing, it'd be you guys like your value is in this is that you made in God's image, right? So find value in that and that you are uniquely you. Ain't nobody like you. You have similar things. Um, you might have similar characteristics, from your family, things like that, but you are specifically you on purpose, right? So find value in that, be confident. Okay. You're allowed to be confident. Okay. So
Mm,
be confident. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We're not talking about arrogance, right? Because
what's the
arrogance,
difference?
being bold, there's a difference, right? And I was talking to my friend about this the other day. He was asking me, what do you think the difference is? Okay. So being arrogant is really just puffed up, right?
Yeah.
You are basically saying that I'm better than the next person based on what I got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's really
Mm-hmm.
empty because what if somebody comes along and has more than you do?
Mm-hmm.
So now you can't really say that.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people that got more things than you do, right? But confidence says, oh, I value myself. It's not necessarily, I'm not better than anybody else, but I value myself because I'm uniquely me. There's nobody like me. And that person is uniquely them. You see? It's like they have gifts and they have unique personalities, a combination of those things. And I'm not like them. So they are valuable, but I'm valuable too because I'm uniquely me. So that's the difference between being arrogant and being confident. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. I think that's how they say it. I thought of a story I was just sharing with a friend today about arrogance. We talked about it's crazy. We talked about arrogance, and I remember for me, I'm the type of person. I'm a nice person, but I'll get you together if I feel like I need to get you together. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna speak my mind, and it takes me a while to get there. When I get there, I'm gonna let you know. And so I had a friend in college who was very arrogant, very, very, very arrogant. And I remember he was just talking about something that, and I just got so tired. I looked at him and said, "Man, you're too arrogant. Will you please just stop it?" He got mad at me, but I hope he got it that, it's okay to be confident and it's okay to, to share certain things, but it's not okay to just constantly boasting and bragging and just going on and on. And he told me I was jealous. I wasn't jealous. I was just tired of hearing it because at the end of the day, I celebrate anybody. Like it is what it is. And he couldn't get that. And I think that it's so important that we don't get to an arrogant part of life. We're humble, and we're proud, but we don't go out there and make other people feel bad with our arrogance. Being puffed up, like you said, So I'll leave you with this. Just be, like you say, be confident, have value in yourself, and just build up your faith. I would say, gird up your faith. That 5-letter word, such a small word, but such power it has within inside of it. Just have faith. It's so easy to say, it talks about in there, one of my scriptures, Hebrews 11:1, faith is the substance of things hoped for, and it's the evidence of things that's not even seen. And so we hope for a lot of things, but the evidence is not seen, but God is going to make it happen. It's going to come to fruition, but we have to hold on to our faith. I said with me, faith. It may look small to you right now. It may look like it's not going to happen, but we serve a God that specializes in small things, big things, medium things. He can specialize in anything. He specializes in impossible things and makes them possible. So he can get the glory of it. And you have no choice but to say it was God. Okay. And so that's the premise of the show. We can talk about God. We can talk about different topics. We can have all that because we are well-rounded Christian brothers, for sure. And we love God and we are true friends. Like all of us are true friends. Like there's my brother here and I appreciate him. So yeah, that's it, man. Be sure to join us again for the next edition of Locked In. Hopefully we will have everybody together, especially by the fall. We'll have everybody back together and we're going to have a little talk about how we did the summer, what we did this summer and all this kind of stuff. And we hope to have some more good topics to talk about and different things like that. So without further ado, thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you in the next edition of Locked In. Take care.
Thanks.